Cajun Cardboard, coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. And today we're going to do a video, I'm going to call it the worst of the worst. We're going to look at the worst performing basketball cards in PSA 10 slabs over the last year. This is going to be a doozy. It's going to be, obviously we're talking about some bad news, but it's almost going to be comical, not for the people that own any of these cards. And I think a couple of these cards I have at one point had in my possession. But we're going to look at some of the worst performing cards over the last 1 year in PSA 10 slabs using the Card Ladder Index. Think to yourself, and you're going to want to watch all the way to the end of the video because we're going to look at about 10 or 12 of them. Think to yourself back to the days of like 2019, 2020 when the hype train was there and like everybody, there was hope for everybody. Devontae Graham was a guy. I'm trying to think. Darius Baisley was a guy. Josh Okogie was like the next hot thing. Like you're talking about guys like that where Landry Shamet, everybody went ape shit over him for a while there. Cam Thomas is kind of a recent example of all of those guys, although none of those other guys put up 40 in 3 consecutive games. Think about some of those players where everybody just poured in and just bought base upon base upon base, prism and optic and select and went after it. We're going to look at those types of cards. So we're going to call it the worst of the worst, and it's almost going to be like taking a little miniature time machine, not too far back, but just about a year back, and see some of the worst performing cards over the last year. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to switch over to the Card Ladder index page, and we're just going to kind of look generally. This is all the indexes, right? Card Ladder tracks more than just basketball cards. You guys know that. Wrestling, hockey, outlier, pre-war vintage, Pokemon, entertainment, mid-end, whatever. Look at basketball down here. Down 44.5% just over the last year. I wonder if they do 2 years. I don't think they do 2 years. They do 5 years. But over the last year, it's down 44%. Now, here's the deal. We can look at 5 years. I don't know what this is going to say, but I guess it's going to be green. Like, I'm going to look really stupid here. I didn't even know they added this 5 year in here, but we're going to hit it and see what happens. Yeah, okay. So over the last 5 years, basketball is up 454%. And that's why nobody's crying for people like me and some of the other guys that have been in the hobby since 2016, 17, 18. And then obviously there's the OGs that have been out there forever. But basketball is up 454% over the last 5 years, and that's what this graph's going to look like. I don't know. They don't let you go to the 5 years on the graph, so all we can see is the negative. Bummer. That's really a bummer. But there's what it looks like all time. There's the mountain, and here's where we are now. So again, it's one of those deals where when you look at these graphs, you just wish you could just draw a flat line and feel more optimistic about it and have a lot more good feelings than bad feelings. But that's what basketball has done over the last year, down 45%, approximately, something like that. 44.56%. Golf's done worse, soccer's done worse, tennis has done worse, racing, UFC. So some of those fringe sport, not fringe sports, but fringe collector sports, like not baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Football has actually done worse than basketball. And look, part of the deal is, over the last 5 years, I mean, these sports, basketball and football, have the furthest to drop because look how good they've done over the last 5 years. Tennis is up 1,870%. That's like 19x, right? Golf, same thing. Football was up like crazy. Basketball is up like crazy. So the ones that have run the most have also got the potential to come down the most to correct themselves. So that's just something to always keep in consideration when you're looking at indexes, even for individual and particular cards. The cards that ran the most and people got the most fervent about are always going to have the ability to drop the most the quickest and correct themselves. But let's get here and do what we came to do. So I've got on our screen here basketball cards that are in PSA 10, the 1 year percentage change. And you can see, number one, Justin Jackson's another one of those guys, right, that people had great hopes for. Like, oh, is he the next one? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? So Justin Jackson, silver PSA 10. And here's the card we're talking about. It's pulled up on your screen. Justin Jackson wins. He, out of 3,454 PSA 10 basketball cards in the Card Ladder Index, his card is the worst performing. It's a pop 35, although we know in 2017 this could be a pop 500, but it's a pop 35 because not everybody graded their Justin Jackson silvers. And it last sold for $1.06. And so the card has sold 3 times over the last year. Someone forked over $20 for it, maybe a Justin Jackson PC guy or somebody who thought Justin Jackson was going to be on the uptick. And it most recently sold for $1.25. Next on our list, and you stop me when we get to a card that's not a Prism base or silver. Next on our list is the Luka Kennard. There's the Luka Kennard base. It's a base PSA 10. It's a pop 106, but as we know, there's actually significantly more than 106 of them out there. This Luka Kennard last sold for $1.80. Card Ladder thinks it's worth significantly more, $3. But you can see somebody paid $25 for it in August. If we go back, let's go back 2 years. The card was steadily selling for, the 15 to 20 range. The most recent one sold for $1.80. Next on the list, another silver prism, Dylan Windler. I don't even know if you guys remember him, and I don't think this dude is still in the league. He was supposed to be like the next Joe Ingles, sort of that 3-and-D guy with the length that could shoot it and guard multiple positions. Did not work out for Dylan Windler. There's his silver prism. That card last sold for 99 cents. At some point in 2021, someone actually paid $75. That's how bananas the year 2021 was. Everybody was reaching for everything, and they always thought they could buy it and sell it 6 weeks later, or sometimes 6 days later, for twice what it was worth. But there's your Dylan Windler chart. Somebody even paid $20 for it like 7 to 8 months ago, something like that. Next on the list, Josh Jackson. Again, a lot of people missed on him, and you'll see. Look at the pop. The pop on Josh Jackson is much higher than Justin Jackson and Windler and Kennard because Josh Jackson, coming out of Kansas, was a really good college player. They thought he was going to be able to translate and develop an offensive game. And I didn't see it from the jump. I told everybody, this dude's a bust. He is not big enough to be a defensive stopper. He can't dribble well enough to play offense, and he can't shoot for shit. And my prophecy came true on him. I'm not right on everything, but I was definitely right on him. He is terrible, and he has, I think, played his way out of the league. Very athletic kid, very high energy kid, but just too small to be a defensive stopper. Might have had some attitude issues. I don't know. There were some rumors about that and some talk about that in discussion. His most recent base PSA 10 sold for 99 cents, and there's a lot of his out there because a lot of people graded him because they really did like his upside. Not me. Darius Bazley, here's one of the ones that I was left holding the bag. I thought Darius Bazley was the real deal. He took an internship, I think, with New Balance and didn't go to college and just kind of played pro and then took a year off and trained and got ready to go. And I thought he was going to be a perfect fit in the NBA. I thought he was going to be a Rashard Lewis type. If you're an old dude like me, you'll remember Rashard Lewis. I thought Darius Bazley had a chance to be that. I thought the card was a good-looking card. 2019, sort of where the pop took the biggest step as far as Prism Silver's exploding in population. You can see I'm not the only one who thought Darius Bazley was going to be legit. There's 739 PSA 10 silver Darius Bazleys, the most we've seen on this list for any other player. A lot of people shared my opinion. And Darius Bazley cards, and I actually bought in really low because I bought in super early. So, and again, I've gotten out, I think, of everything. I mean, I think I ended up selling them for more than what did the last one sell for? More than $575, but not much more. But luckily, I never bought a graded Darius Bazley. I bought a bunch of raw silvers and a couple of colors, but primarily just a bunch of silvers. Graded them, and then I did sell them for a loss. No question about it, for a loss because my timing was terrible. But look. He was consistently in these PSA 10s selling for 100, 120, 130, 140. He's kind of followed the same track as Marvin Bagley, where people just keep thinking there's a chance, and then I'll have a good game, and there's a chance. And now, the fact that he can't play on that Oklahoma City Thunder team, which so desperately needs a player like him, a small ball 5, which they didn't really have this year. They had Jeremiah Robinson Earl last year, and then they had the big Jalen Williams, who I think absolutely sucks. The little Jalen Williams can play. He can really play. Top 3 candidate for Rookie of the Year. The other Jalen Williams, I think he sucks ass. But Darius Bazley would fit in perfect. It'd be a great piece on that Oklahoma City Thunder team. I've totally lost track. Did he get hurt? Is he on another team? I have no idea where Darius Bazley is. We could probably look it up on basketballreference.com, but his cards have disappeared just like his game has disappeared, and that's what he's done over the last year. As you can see, he's down 92. He's down 89%, so not pretty. And then Devontae Graham. Everybody remembers when Devontae Graham went bananas and people jumped on his cards. My good friend Cage was a big Devontae Graham guy. Hopefully he got in and out and did okay. There's a local collector here. We'll call him Jeff because that is his name, but I won't give you his last name because he'd be ashamed to admit it. He sat on a bunch of high-end Devontae Graham cards all the way through that peak time when he could have sold Devontae Graham. And let me see if I can pull up Devontae Graham's all-time. Somebody at one time was paying over $160 for a base Devontae Graham. His silvers, you don't even want to know. His silvers at one point, people were paying over $300 for his silvers. My guy was sitting on a gold slab Devontae Graham Prism rookie card, serial number to 10. And wrote it out, much to his chagrin. Devontae Graham's base PSA 10 is down 90% over the last year. It had sold for as high as $21. The last one sold for 99 cents. So bargain basement discount. By the way, we are still looking only at prisms, right? So that should give you guys some idea of this 2-year correction that we're a little over 2 years now. Wow, it's been almost 26 months since first quarter of 2021, 25 months, something like that. All base prism, all silver prisms so far. The one card that really kind of surprises me is this Markieff Morris. Not very many data points, and it's still a pretty valuable card, $82 for a silver PSA 10. Reason for that is it's 2012 Prism. That's the first year Prism, so there's set collectors out there. That's basically like a common 1986 Fleer card. There's always going to be somebody who's looking for a PSA 10 2012 Prism Silver. Not so for 2018. Nobody's collecting that set, but people do collect 2012 Prism Silver in PSA 10. The base I collect, obviously, as you guys know, in PSA 10, and then I'm collecting some of the insert sets of PSA 10. There's even some lunatics out there who are trying to collect the entire 2012 Prism Gold set. And I know you can't do that just in PSA 10, but they're probably doing it in any grade. And that would be a sight to behold because that's 300 cards. You talk about 300 cards and you're talking about, I don't know if it's $1 million set. I haven't done the math, but that would be a very expensive set if somebody could put that 2012 Prism Gold set together. That'd be an interesting set to do the math on. That's actually a good idea for a video, just out of curiosity. Again, I don't own a single 2012 Prism Gold card to date as of right now in my personal inventory, but I wonder what that set would be worth because you got to remember that is the great rookie class, right? Plus you've got like just a Steph Curry, the Kevin Durant, the LeBron James Golds. That's definitely $1 million set. There's no question that's $1 million set, I think. I'd have to go do the math, but that might make for a good video. You also have 50 legends in there. So you're talking about a Kareem Gold, a Wilt Gold, a Bill Russell Gold, Bird Gold, a Magic Bird, a Magic Gold. I mean, you're talking about an absolutely awesome first-year Prism set. The first non-base, non-silver Prism is the Jordan Poole Green, which really surprises me. This is a horrible performing card over the last year. People were paying over $500 for this card. I don't see it with Jordan Poole. I think he is a bucket getter extreme. I see a little bit better version of Malik Monk. He won't defend anybody. He is a little dinged up right now, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt in this Kings Warriors series. He won't defend anybody. He's not a great passer. He's not a great creator for others. He's not predictable and dependable. He's not a good decision maker. He can score the shit out of it, though. And so I see him being a better version of Malik Monk. I just don't ever think he's going to be the best player on the best team. And that's really all I look for, unless the price point is, again, a paltry. I'm always looking for guys who have the potential to one day become the best player on their NBA team. If you don't have that type of, top 30, top 40 player in the world type talent, I usually don't invest in that player unless it's one of my bargain bin guys like I did with an Anthony Simons when I was buying him super low. I've done it with a Kevin Porter Jr. when his cards were super, super low. I did it with Darius Baisley, and it did not work out. But I've done it with some others, and it's actually worked out. De'Aaron Fox, Jaylen Brown, a couple others to name a few. And I do still think those two guys, and Fox is showing it. I think Fox is the best player on his team, although it's what and what with him and Sabonis. And I did it with Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has the potential. Again, it's tough with Tatum. It's like at 1A, 1B, and Jaylen Brown's probably the 1B. But I believe if Jaylen Brown ever did get his own team, if you put Jaylen Brown on, let's say, an Orlando and paired him with Wagner and Banchero and whoever they end up drafting, like he's immediately the alpha there, and he immediately becomes, I think, an MVP candidate type player. I think Jaylen Brown's got top 10 player in the world type talent as a two-way player. There's not many two-way players left in the game, but he's one of them. Steph Curry found his way up here, and I gotta believe this is just an outlier. Somebody picked up this Press-Proof Net Marvels Gold for $150. The damn card sold for $1,800 as recently as, what is that, barely a year, not even a year ago. That's crazy. $1,200, $1,800. Came down here to $600, right? That's a big enough drop, but then $150. That one really, let's just click view all sales. Man, somebody took a best offer. It was listed at $430 and somebody took $150. Somebody from Durant, Oklahoma. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Wow. KD was in Oklahoma, and there was a city called Durant, Oklahoma. That's really interesting. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to show you guys, give you guys an indication of some of the worst performing cards, the worst of the worst, right? Try to keep it light, try to keep it positive. Let's end it on this note. This is what cards have done over the last 5 years. So everybody that's hyper-focused on this, relax. Yes, it's all red, almost all red. Maybe you collect pre-war vintage. I don't. Maybe you collect outliers, whatever that is. I don't. But everything is red, and that's okay. They inorganically rose due to the extreme demand and the COVID and the printing of the free money and just the hype behind it. I do believe Fanatics is going to come in. I believe the transition from Panini Fanatics is going to help a little bit. I don't think we'll ever see another spike like we saw in, during that 2-year period, 2019, 20, and 21. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that. Just too many things had to happen to make that happen, and it was a perfect storm. As we know now, it was an imperfect storm because it wasn't sustainable. It was an inorganic, rapid growth period of our hobby that was a really, really fun time. It was a really fun time, guys, to be around and to be a part of that, and a lot of people out there made a hellacious amount of money during that time, and that's good because I think a lot of those same people, I'm included, have reinvested that money and actually transitioned into being more collector-driven than investor-driven. I still love to talk about investing. That's obviously what this video is about. It's about investments gone wrong, but I am transitioning into much more of a collector than I am an investor, as I am taking my inventory and consolidating my collection to buy more of the cards that I love, that I intend to hold for, open quotes, Cajun eternity, close quotes. And so I think there's a lot of people out there that have followed a similar pathway to me, that got into it for the money, got into it for the cards. And again, a lot of those people got into it in 2018, 19, and 20. I got into it around 2016, something like that. Got back into it, I should say. Obviously, I collected for many decades as a kid and as a young adult, but got back into it in 2016 and have just kind of started transitioning back into pure collecting. Set collecting is really, really fun. I do, obviously, for your guys' enjoyment and for mine, I love buying raw cards, sending them to PSA, getting penetrated and getting abused and molested by PSA, unjustly, by the way, and then sharing those horrific results with you on these videos so you guys can laugh at me and enjoy my pain. I still do that. I still love to buy raw grade, flip, and take losses, which has been happening a lot lately because I do have an investor side of me that I always have to scratch that itch. But I think as you guys see from the mail day videos that I do on the weekends, most of the cards that I'm picking up are not with the intention of picking them up to sell them. In fact, I can't remember the last time I bought a 4-figure card with the intention of selling the card. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, hopefully you enjoyed this sad video. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby. Peace.